Accessible educational materials. Some educational materials can present barriers to students when they are not designed with accessibility in mind. Some students with disabilities may have trouble accessing content and printed textbooks and other media, which prevents them from participating in an effective learning environment. Educational materials that are print-based may cause barriers for a variety of students, including students who are blind, students with learning disabilities, and students who may have difficulty physically using a book. Students who encounter problems using and learning from standard print materials are good candidates for the use of accessible educational materials, or AEM. The National Center on Accessible Educational Materials suggests that a student may benefit from AEM and related assistive technology, or AT, if they cannot see text on a page, are unable to hold a book or turn a page, cannot sit upright and stay alert for sufficient periods of time, cannot read for the length of time required without becoming tired, cannot identify letters or numbers, or cannot read fluently. Barriers can also occur with textbooks in electronic format, digital documents, websites and apps, learning management systems, and other electronic devices when accessibility has not been included in the design process. Accessibility means that all students, including students with disabilities, have access to the materials and the technology that they need to achieve their educational objectives and employment goals. Educational materials and technologies are accessible to people with disabilities if they can acquire the same information, engage in the same interactions, and enjoy the same services as people who do not have disabilities. Accessibility also means that students have timely access to the materials that they need when they need them. Accessible educational materials, AEM, are designed in a way that makes them usable to a wide range of learners. AEM are designed to remove barriers and provide students with access to the educational content that they need to participate, be successful, and achieve their goals as learners. AEM can help some struggling students thrive. Accessible educational formats include Braille, tactile graphics, large print, audio, and digital text. Here are some tips from the National Center on Accessible Educational Materials to guide teams through a decision-making process around providing AEM to students. Determine the student's need. Select the accessible format or formats that work best for the student. Acquire the materials, and determine the supports needed for successful use of the format. Determine the need. To determine a student's need, consider whether there is evidence showing that the student is experiencing difficulty reading or accessing traditional print-based text. Evidence may include a student is not making adequate progress and has trouble gaining information from print-based text in a reasonable amount of time. Consider whether the student is able to make use of the information when content is presented in a different format, for example, read out loud. Data from reading assessments, teacher observations, and conversations with the student and parents should also be considered. Select the accessible format that works best for the student. Consider the formats and specific features that may be most useful for the student. For example, a student with a learning disability may benefit from an accessible digital format with text-to-speech technology.
Microsoft's Immersive Reader is a free tool that provides a full-screen reading experience.
A special education or assistive technology specialist can help the team select formats and assistive technologies. Acquire the materials. There are three main ways of acquiring accessible educational materials. Accessible media producers, called AMPs, publishers, and local material production and conversion. Accessible media producers, also called AMPs, provide accessible formats to qualified students. Bookshare and Learning Ally are two of the most frequently used AMPs that provide accessible ebooks and audiobooks. The LUI database of accessible materials contains information on accessible materials in Braille, large print, audio, and electronic file format produced by more than 150 organizations throughout the United States, and includes products developed by APH, the American Printing House for the Blind. A student must be certified as eligible for these services by one of a number of medical, psychological, educational, or social welfare specialists. Some materials may be restricted to students who have an Individualized Education Program, or IEP. Students who are not certified as eligible can acquire accessible materials from commercial resources, open educational resources, and teacher-developed materials. Many widely available formats and applications, including Microsoft Word, web browsers, and ebooks available from Apple, Google, and Amazon, include high-quality text-to-speech capability. Audiobooks are also widely available. Giving all students a choice in the format that works best for them is a universal design for learning strategy that is helpful for all students. Determine what supports the student needs to successfully use the new format. When students first use a new format and new technology, they will need training. Most students can quickly adapt to new tools and materials, while others may take more time. Students will also need regular access to the accessible materials and assistive technology throughout their day and at home. Students will need time to practice using the new tools and may need support to help develop independence. Some students may need extended time and some students may need frequent breaks. Students may need accommodations and/or modifications included in an IEP, Individualized Education Program, or 504 plan. When selecting AEM, it's important to consider quality and accessibility principles and guidelines. When evaluating materials, keep the POUR acronym in mind. Accessible education materials must be perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Thinking of the acronym POUR can be helpful in remembering the essentials of quality accessible materials, whether the materials are purchased, borrowed, or created. Remember to pour accessibility into your materials. Perceivable. Students must be able to access the content through either seeing, hearing, or tactile access or touching. Some ways to make sure content is perceivable include: use text instead of images of text. Photocopies are images of text even if they are electronic files such as PDFs. These files cannot be used with assistive technology, including text-to-speech applications and screen readers, unless they are converted to recognizable text. Add text descriptions and captions to the images, charts, graphs, and photos in your content. Students who have visual impairments may not have access to information in images or graphics if text descriptions are not included. Include closed captions and transcripts for videos and multimedia, and provide sufficient color contrast so that text is easier to read. Operable. Materials must be designed so that students can use or interact with them independently. For example, students with visual impairments may not be able to use a mouse to make selections on a screen, but they can use keyboard shortcuts or touch gestures to navigate the content by headings or links. Some ways to make sure content is operable include: provide a clear structure with headings and subheadings in your document or digital resource. When producing documents with applications such as Microsoft Word, use document styles to format headings and subheadings. Make hyperlinks descriptive. The link text should be descriptive and indicate what will happen when you select the link. For example, read more about Wales instead of read more or a long URL. Understandable. Resources must be understandable. Materials should be designed and delivered in such a way that students can focus on the content. Materials should be predictable and consistent and not require workarounds. The language used should also be at an appropriate reading level for the student. Some ways to make your content understandable include: provide clear directions. Provide a consistent and predictable design and format. Use plain language. Robust. Robust means the content should work across different platforms or operating systems. This includes different web browsers and devices, including desktop computers, tablets, and smartphones. Some ways to make sure the content is robust include: perform an accessibility check using built-in accessibility checkers. Microsoft Word and PowerPoint have built-in accessibility checkers, as do Google Docs and Apple productivity tools. Also, ask others to test your content for accessibility. Many students benefit from personalizing and customizing their reading experience. Text resizing, font selection, adjustable text spacing, and choice of background colors and themes are features available in many e-text and ebook readers that are useful for many students. Text-to-speech and simplified reading views are built-in features in many ebook readers and web browsers. These features remove distractions and help students focus on the content. Reading along while listening to text as it is read aloud is a universal design strategy that is helpful for many students. Reading while listening can help with comprehension and also has been shown to improve reading skills. Listening to text can help students who struggle with reading access content that is challenging and helps build vocabulary. Text-to-speech players and customization options are included in Microsoft Word, Google Docs, Apple applications for iPads, iPhones and Macs, Kindle readers, and web browsers. Providing students with accessible educational materials and assistive technology can help students be successful. When barriers are removed and students have access to the accessible educational materials that meet their needs, they report improved satisfaction in schools, improved feelings of confidence, improved self-esteem, and a new sense of independence. Many students even report a new love of reading, writing, and learning. These are qualities and skills that are necessary to help students become independent, self-motivated, lifelong learners capable of working towards their educational and long-term goals, including graduation and successful employment. For more information on assistive technology for learning, see our additional videos.